Alright, so I wanted to share my Criterion collection against a noisy background of the kitchen. And right here is actually something different. This is part of my vlog, which hasn't been released yet. I'm doing every other day now on the vlog rather than daily. It's usually every other day or every third day. So what you're going to get is a series of films. These are, I consider them kind of like movies. I'm probably going to be the craziest filmmaker ever because I probably have, this is a short right here, so it's 38. I have thousands of features that have been posted. Here's another one right here. That's a feature right there. A feature about the weather and watching Akira Drunken Angel. I put Drunken Angela, but it's actually Drunken Angel up there on accident. I'll go ahead and fix that. So to fix something up here, you just basically just hit this button right here. And you just basically fix it by tapping in there. Nothing's ever permanent, but there's a way I've fixed the name before. I'll just put Drunken Angel right here. Autocorrect is something I think that needs to be expressed throughout artists that are trying to survive and stuff like that. Because autocorrect is one of my major enemies. But you can see it says Drunken Angel. And it's a Kira Kurosawa film. Put this one right here. There we go, Drunken Angel. And that's just a film I'm watching, that I've been watching with Akira. Okay, so Akira's correct. Kurosawa, I think, is the, for all the asshole college professors. Angela, Angel, there we go. Drunken Angel. You know, being an alcoholic, and I'm not one, I'm not addicted to any kind of alcohol or anything like that, but I think it's probably one of the worst things of them all. You know, it's like the worst thing to be, if you're an alcoholic, I feel for you, I pray for you every day. It's the worst thing at all. But Drunken Angel is good. It's Akira Kurosawa who did it. And I just show stuff. This is a lady that tried to attack Linda and I. Well, this guy didn't. That guy is probably a pretty okay dude. But a lady, she didn't really try to attack us, but she tried to call the police on us, which is the same thing as attacking somebody. But this is at a 7-Eleven one. You'll have to watch it. It's not allowed in stores. Probably the title of the movie. All my movies will probably be retitled by the publishers and editors. They're already published right now, but here's another one called Risky Barbecue. I don't really give titles to my movies, but it's 5026. I just kind of tell you what happens in them. So on the Please Subscribe show, I just show you a series of events. I start off in theater, so I didn't start off in cinema. So I break all the rules, just like most theater people do. But this is called Racetrack and Late Night Wingstop. Today's Kitty Is. You just have to watch it to understand it and interpret it. There's also a title called Sharing Wealth. Now, when I'm talking about sharing wealth, what I mean is kind of the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily sharing the wealth. You are. Because probably I imagine rich people watch this show because they like weird stuff. And probably poor people don't have time. They're too busy watching the commercial trash that they're sent by Hollywood. My stuff is probably more for like probably the rich and things like that. But let's go ahead and go to the Criterion collection. I'm assuming, you know, the upper class citizens. But, you know, maybe some poor people watch it too, or artists may watch it. That's a nice little noise coming from the kitchen. I was just thinking of, I woke up today thinking of David Lynch and how brilliant he was and all his stuff. I'm a big David Lynch fan, and he's on this Criterion collection. Okay, so we can start watching just by tapping on that. It should let me in. There we go. Yep, that's me. That's my name. And there's my email. And if you want to email me and send me funding, I have a werewolf movie that I have written. Now, it's not really, it's a werewolf movie, but the werewolf is just the costume, if you know what I mean. It's only the setting. The movie's about a lot of other things. It's really kind of about an alcoholic woman. But I say it's about a werewolf, and you don't really see the werewolf in it. So I wrote it. It's called Grace, a.k.a. Wereblog. It's a Texas werewolf movie. If you want to get funding for that, I also have a book that I'm writing about a secret militia that people have taken serious. Now, this secret militia thing that I wrote is pure fiction. I've had people call me and say that I'm threatening the government and all this stuff. Listen, it's all fiction, okay? There's recently a big Hollywood movie that came out called Civil War. Let me see if I can find that. And I'm sure they may have gotten threats too. Civil War movie right here. So why didn't these movie producers get phone calls talking about, you know, they started it, you know, they put it in the art world in Hollywood. It's right here. Oh, AT&T commercial. Sorry about that. There we go. Civil War 2024. It's an hour and 49 minutes. I didn't make this movie. Alex Garland did. So let's look at Alex Garland and see the past on Alex Garland, see who he is. He's right here. So did he get in trouble for making that movie? No. Right, because you can make a fictional movie about a militia or a civil war or whatever it's about. That's the dude that made that movie. He's a writer, producer, and director. I didn't get to see it, but Kirsten Dunst is in it. Garland's other works as a writer includes The Beach, 28 Days Later, Sunshine, and Never Let Me Go. So the reason why he was probably able to make the movie without getting a lot of hassle was probably because he was already famous. All right, let's go this way. And so if you get a small-time artist, an artist writing a book about the militia and how the poor are going to take over the country, all of a sudden I get phone calls and being threatened by other people, because I did get phone calls over that. But it's only, listen, it's only put on my Facebook in words. It's not an actual movie. I say that it's a motion picture because it's part of the book. They kidnap a filmmaker out in Hollywood to question him about a corrupt judge and a hacker in Texas. And it's called Shepherds of Alaska. But, you know, I shouldn't get any hassle for that. But it was basically my second wife that called me and said, stop threatening the government. All right, now, we want to go over to my list right here, because I'm trying to tell you that a lot of this is just fiction, okay? There's a difference between reality and fiction. It does sound, my movie or my vlog, or whatever you want to call it, we're anti-cinematic. But it does sound like it's real, but it's not. I'm a big fan of Orson Welles. I think War of the World was cool, how he scared these people enough to jump out of buildings. And he was only joking around. Well, he was doing a radio show, but he was pretty serious about it too. All right, so this is what I have right now on Continue Watching. But what I'm looking for on this is actually my library. So this is only under Continue Watching right here. And I've watched most of all of these. But what I'm looking for, okay, certain people can't handle words, is on this right here. So when you sign in, you start watching. On this site, I'm looking for library. And so that is probably somewhere in here. It's probably on one of these lists. Here's new collections, popular. There's fresh from theaters. There's from the Criterion Collection, popular movies, featured collections, American Independence, coming soon, newly added, leaving May 31st, adventures, documentarians, Criterion Originals, directors, stars, rediscovered music, film, 20th century teasers, essential art house love stories, Black lives, women filmmakers, horror, short films, commentaries. Paper Moon is in that. All of this is great right here. So that's great. But what I'm actually looking for is my library, which is known as my list. So you can see view all on list by hitting this right here. And this is probably somewhat public. It is now, since I'm putting it on my YouTube. I just watched Prince of Broadway. It is on my list. I do like it. It's Sean Baker. Sean Baker just won some Oscars for a movie about sex workers and stuff. I don't know why he chose sex workers recently. I know he also did a film called Red Rocket. And I think he also did Tangerine, which is about transvestite LBGT. And he also did a movie called Florida Project, which did make my all top 11 films because it emotionally affected me. But I don't know why he chose the subjects that he chose. I know that he went to the same schools I went to, the New School of Social Research, which is also known as New School University in New York City. And I don't know why he chose the subjects that he did. That's the only question I'd want to ask him. If I'd ask him, it's like, why did you choose the subjects that you chose for Prince of Broadway, for example, all the way to his most recent masterpiece that he won Oscars for, which I can't pronounce. Okay, so I also chose Stalker right here, which is Tarkovsky. I have watched the opening of this. I think this filmmaker was affected by David Lynch. His name is Andrei Tarkovsky. I know Stanley Kubrick was. But David Lynch released Eraserhead in 1977. This was released in 1979. It does start off with a train whistle. It is in a very weird gold tint. There's a name for it, but I can't pronounce it right now. Or I can't recall the word. But it's a gold tint. Sepia? I think you got it. Yeah, sepia. Yeah. So let's look at this for a second and see what sepia does right here and go right here. So let's see if we can get it right here. Dark brown ink pigment. It could be or could be not. It could be argued by asshole college professors. But it seems to be somewhat in sepia. But it's gold. So it's really in something else. But it's in a different color code. Let's just put it that way. It's in a weird color code if you watch it. It does start off kind of dramatic. I think the acting needed a little bit of work, but as an overall film, I think it was good. I just thought it was a little kind of corny, emotional starting off. What I liked about Eraserhead, which came out 2 years before, was the acting was very straightforward. You know, he wasn't trying to impress anyone with the Oscar award-winning acting in Eraserhead. But he's not Andrew Tarkovsky. That was David Lynch. But I think that Tarkovsky took from David Lynch because it opens up with a train whistle in the distance. If you listen to Stalker, it sounds a little like Eraserhead. That's the first thing when I was watching, I was like, hey, this guy must have saw Eraserhead. But 1979, it's very strange. Drunken Angel's brilliant. It's Akira Kurosawa. And it's a brilliant little film. There's also Down by Law. Now, that's only question and answers, but Jim Jarmusch is, of course, punk rock film director. He's everybody's hero. Another Strange Noise coming from the kitchen. Vengeance is Mine is actually pretty good. It's a Japanese, I think he's Japanese or he's Asian. He's definitely something. I would say Japanese. Japanese. It is a guy named Shohei Amamura, and I completely butchered that name. But it's Amamura. And I butchered it again. Okay, like I was the actor that was at the readings where all the other actors were saying, that's not how you say it, you say it this way. And I really don't care how you say it is what I'd say to them. But listen, I'll figure it out. And by the time rehearsals are over, I'll have the right pronunciation or the one that we're going on. But anyway, this is good too. I'm a big Roman Polanski fan. Roman Polanski, it's a 2010 thing. This may go up as a raw footage upload. United Kingdom. This is about a ghostwriter. It's very, very interesting. It's Ian McGregor, his very good performance with Pierce Brosnan playing this political prime minister figure. And it's about a ghostwriter, but it's about a lot of things, especially political. Roman Polanski wrote a lot about paranoia and also witches. To me, I just get a sense of witches. It's not about witches, but that's what Rosemary's Baby was about. But it's about the political evilness of power and people that can come in and rewrite things for the sake of the public to like it better. You know, he's playing a ghostwriter that's rewriting this memoir that's supposed to be this like political memoir by this prime minister, and he rewrites it for the sake of saving his butt, kind of thing. It's a really good one. I liked it. I don't know why Roman Polanski chose that subject either, but it kind of reflects a little bit of The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp, if you've seen The Ninth Gate, which is about an evil book. This one's about a political book, which is also evil. I'm trying to, of course, you know, Brian De Palma. This is a great war film. This actually made my top 11 all greatest war films. And it's, you know, it's about this evil Sergeant Meserve, is I think how I pronounce his name. But he leads this platoon down this rape and pilgrimage trail, you know, this pilgrimage trail of rape and murder. And Michael J. Fox is one of his greatest performances. It's, you know, Michael J. Fox is brilliant in this, and so is Sean Penn. This is I think it's an anti-war film, Casualties of War. I would say anti-war film, but you know, I could be wrong. I don't think people would watch this and go, "Hey, let's go join the army." Andrew Roblev, I need to look into that one. That's more Tarkovsky. I don't know a whole lot about Tarkovsky. I'm learning. That's why I'm doing all this. I'm a big fan of Fellini, especially his 8.5. I think accessing the dream in cinema is like the only way to go. I think all movies are like a form of dream. And going right into Chris Marker's La Jetée, which is great. 1963 France. I saw that, the first time I saw it was at the Bolts Library in New York City when I was studying acting at the Actor Studio Drama School, okay. But I was still studying at the Actor Studio. And I went into the New York Bolts Library and watched that on this little tube television. You could get the actual VHS tapes and put the little VHS tape. But we also had DVDs too. You know, you could do the little DVD too, or VHS back then. This was like 2001, 2002. The actual film was done in 1963. This later on would become 12 Monkeys with Brad Pitt. But it's nothing like 12 Monkeys. Not with Brad Pitt, but it's a very interesting film. It's done with a lot of still photos, black and white. The Piano Teacher is good. I recommend that. I don't know much about Haneke, but it's a dramatic piece that delves in lust and the younger generation being corrupted by the older generation. Pickpocket is a must-see, Robert Bresson. But another film that I like by Robert Bresson is L'Argent, which means silver. It means the same thing as money, and it's on my list too. Actually, I like that one better than Pickpocket. It was recommended on the Criterion Channel by Annie Baker, the playwright. Robert Bresson. I also like this little Last Summer film by Catherine Brelet, and I completely butchered that name because I've never met her and I don't know her, but it's a female director from France, and it's actually quite brilliant. I also recommend this. It's a John Cassavetes, Woman Under the Influence, but I recommend the audio. This is actually the audio. So when you tap on it, it's not the movie. It's actually an audio recording of Cassavetes talking. So I just wanted to show you that real quick because it won't have a lot of copyright issues because it doesn't have motion. It only has the sound.
You know, one day you spoke about a film that I think it was about faces, that you said that it was a very much.
That's not Cassavetes talking, that's the interviewer. And there's probably stuff about that interviewer too. It's a famous interview.
In the case of Woman Under the Influence, was there any cut made, or was it the length that you intended? Because it's a longer film than your recent film.
I think as you get older, you get.
And that's Cassavetes talking.
Complicated.
So Woman Under the Influence is actually a brilliant film. It has a big influence on me making the Please Subscribe show because of the fact that he doesn't pay a lot of attention to the angle of the camera on purpose. Meaning he's only just filming it. He's not trying to impress the audience on where the camera lies. He's not making The Godfather in it, right? He's presenting a real environment with a real actress. You know, she's an actress. But it's brilliant to watch how he gets from one segment to another in the scene work. He understood acting intensely. That's him. That's Cassavetes holding a cigarette. And I think that the ideas behind it is that it just flows very well. The whole film does. And Peter Falk is in it. Peter Falk is brilliant. You just have to see it. It flows very well, but it's not captured like David Lynch would capture a movie, or Francis Ford Coppola would capture a movie, or even Scorsese. It's not captured in a way where it looks like a movie. It's captured in the way where it looks kind of like a documentary, or it's cinema verite, or whatever they call it. I don't even know the name of it, but Cassavetes was very vigilant about wanting his movies to look kind of dirty and thrown together. He did not want anything real fancy, and you don't get that. Look at the set. I mean, those blinds don't look like they were like they were just blinds that were there. This whole set was probably just a house that was lived in and there. And that's him on set directing with the famous actress here that was, you know, and we'll talk about her later and later on when we delve into Cassavetes. She was in a few of his films. If I'm not mistaken, if anyone makes a comment, I think she was also in Faces.